In the Alan Dershowitz versus CNN case, just last week, the parties filed a joint notice of mediation. So we're going to take a look at that and also give you an update on what's been going on in that case. As you may recall, so Alan Dershowitz, he sued CNN for $300 million for defamation. Alan Dershowitz, he was defending President Trump in his first impeachment trial. CNN basically doctored, edited some footage to make it look like Alan Dershowitz was saying something that he didn't really say, and he got pissed and sued them. So that is where this case is. And now let's take a look at the docket report. I just pulled this up from the court a couple of days ago. So we're just going to look at a few items here. The last item we talked about in a video was here on May 24th, and that was where the court denied CNN's motion to dismiss, which was a really big procedural victory for Alan Dershowitz because he's going to be able to go through discovery with CNN. And I think we are all really excited for that. So that's the last video I did. If you haven't watched it, you probably should because it's really good. And anyway, let's look at the docket report to see what's happened since then. There's a few minor items here that we won't talk about because you'll probably stop watching. But on June 16th, this is when the defendants filed their answer, when CNN filed their answer. There's really nothing exciting in there. It's just a lot of boilerplate standard things in their answer. June 22nd is when we see the scheduling order. Now let's take a look at some of the dates in the scheduling order, just so you can see when the trial is supposed to begin. Pulling up the scheduling order here, you can see that right now it's set for trial during a 2-week period beginning on September 12th, 2022. So we have a ways before the trial is actually going to start. Now, in the scheduling order, the judge also required mediation. You can see right here, it says it's requiring mediation. And by July 21st, according to this order, the parties were to select a mediator so that they can go through this mediation. Now, in the state of Florida, this is very normal. They require cases like this to go to mediation. If the judge can have the parties settle this before they go to trial, that's one less trial he has to go through or she has to go through. So they want all of them to go to mediation. So this is normal. And the mediation is currently scheduled for Wednesday, November 17th. Flipping this over, let's see, by August 20th, all motions to amend pleadings or join parties are to be filed. Some of these other dates here, getting out in 2022, have to do with expert witness reports and expert witness summaries. And again, the trial on this is not supposed to start until September 12th, 2022. So anyway, that was the scheduling order that we were looking at. And then if we pull up the docket report again, you can see that just last week, this was on July 22nd, this is when the joint notice of mediation was filed by the parties. And let's take a brief look at that. Pulling that up, here is the joint notice of mediation. And you can see that it is taking place on Wednesday, November 17th, 2021. And you can see that it will be mediated by the Honorable John W. Thornton. Now, the judge hasn't signed the order yet, but that's just going to be a standard thing. He will sign that, and I think we should see that in the docket report soon. Now, about CNN, I don't know if you guys have heard this, but Bill Burr, a great comedian, he recently shared his thoughts on CNN. I think it was on his podcast. If you search on YouTube, Bill Burr and CNN, you can find it. He uses the F-bomb several times, so, don't play this in front of your Sunday school class or your children or whatever, but I think he was right on. I agree with him 100%, so if you want to listen to that, I'm sure you can quickly find that. Anyway, I have a lot of interest in this case, so I will keep my eye on this, and then if anything else happens on this, I will try to keep you posted. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.